Hello everybody, and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some bread. Now I enjoy making bread, but it's quite a long-winded process sometimes, so I thought I would show you that there is an easy way of doing the bread if you can buy bread mixes. I've done some research, and in North America you can get bread mixes. They seem to come though, I think, in packets with various ingredients separate. In the UK we can buy bread mixes rather like this one, which is everything in a single packet, and you just add water and maybe a little bit of oil or something. So I thought I would show you just how simple it can be to make the bread, and this one is going to be a cheese and onion bread, and this is a 500 gram packet of that bread mix. It has everything in that is needed, and I've made this before and it's very, very tasty. So you simply put the 500 grams of the bread mix into the bowl, and the only other things you need are a baking tin. This is a a loaf tin, a 2 pound loaf tin, or you can use a baking tray if you want to, and just shape the loaf and allow it to bake on the tray, and 320 millilitres of lukewarm water. Then you'll also need some flour to go on your work surface as well. So it's very simple. All you do is make a well in the centre of the flour and pour your lukewarm water in, and then you mix that for 5 minutes. I'm going to start off with a spoon, but then I'll go on to mixing by hand, and it will form a dough, quite a sticky dough in all probability. So once you've got it mixed and it's quite sticky, you can then, if you want to, which is what I do, mix it with your hand, but you need to mix it like this for 5 minutes basically. Right, so that's mixed and it's quite sticky. So what I'm going to do is just put some flour onto the work surface and then pull the bread dough out onto that, and I'm simply going to roll it in the flour and pull the excess off my fingers and just incorporate that as well. And I'm going to leave that for 5 minutes, just like that. Now this is very easy, very simple, and it takes less than 2 hours from start to finish to get your loaf out of the oven cooling down. So I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll go on to the next stage, which is simply 2 minutes of kneading. Right, so I've rested this for 5 minutes. Now I'm going to knead it for 2 minutes. And I'm going to try to knead it quite vigorously and pull in more flour if it gets too sticky on the hands. And really it's just a question of pressing down and stretching the dough. You want the gluten to become very stretchy. So that's my kneading completed. So all I have to do now is to form that into a ball, a bit like that, and then leave it for another 5 minutes like that. Then we shape it and prove it for 30 to 40 minutes. So I'll come back in 5 minutes and I'll shape it and set it to prove. Okay, so I'm back with you, and our dough has just rested on the work surface for 5 minutes. Now I'm going to shape it. Now in this stage, if you're using a baking tray, you can just shape it into a round like that maybe, and just score it or put a cross on it with a sharp knife, something like that. But I'm going to use this 2-pound loaf tin, which I've greased. The instructions don't say to grease, but I when I've made these in the past, I grease them. And I'm going to just roll this until it's about the same length as the loaf tin, and I want a fairly even thickness so that the loaf, although it will be lower at the ends than it will in the middle, I'm sure. And then I'm just going to pick it up and drop it in the tin and give it a little push down a little bit just to even it out. And then I'm simply going to leave that covered with a clean tea towel for 30 to 40 minutes until it's doubled in size. And while it's doubling in size like that, I'm going to preheat my oven to 230 Celsius. That's 210 Celsius with a fan, 410 Fahrenheit, and then it will be ready to bake. So I'll be back with you when it's doubled in size and we're ready to bake it. Right, I'm back with you, and it's been 40 minutes, so I'll uncover the dough, and as you can see it's doubled in size quite easily, and I'm going to put that in the oven now and bake that for 30 minutes. Then I'll come back and I'll show you the result when it comes out of the oven. I'm back with you, and our loaf is baked for 30 minutes. So here it is, and I'm just going to tip it out of the tin. And you can see it's baked very well. Nice and crusty on top, which will soften as you store it in a bread bin or whatever. And I'm going to let that cool down now before I cut it. So as you can see, it's very easy to make with these bread mixes, and I'll come back to you and we'll cut into it once it's cooled down. Okay, well, I'm back with you, and I've allowed the loaf to cool down completely. So now I'm just going to slice it. So it's a nice fresh loaf, obviously. The taste is great, and in the UK at least we can get these bread mixes, which are just plain straightforward packet of mixture to which you add water or a little bit of oil or something. Mix them together and then you've got your loaf once you've baked it. You can do them in a bread machine or by hand like I have done here. And the sort of things we get are the normal white bread, sourdough bread, focaccia, ciabatta, sun-dried tomato, parmesan, multigrain, wholemeal bread, all these sorts of things. So if you get the chance, you should give these a try. They're very easy to make, as you can see. And that's going to be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that will take you to my blog, and I will be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.